Radio Romania International. You are listening to our one-hour broadcast in English for listeners in Western Europe. We can also be heard on the internet in WMA, MP3 and AAC Plus formats at www.rri.road, Channel 1. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Flickr and Pinterest. We wish you good reception conditions. Broadcast on Radio Romania International. Radio Israel.
Hello, I'm your host today, Ana Maria Popescu, inviting you to join this program on Radio Romania International, broadcasting from Bucharest. In the newsreel today, after the news bulletin, we'll bring you a commentary on the controversial emergency ordinance recently passed by the Romanian government, which allows locally elected officials to migrate from one party to another. And now the news with Elena Enrique. The headlines. Romania calls on its European partners to support the Ukrainian army with military equipment and pleads for fresh sanctions to be imposed on Russia. The Social Democratic Prime Minister of Romania, Victor Ponta, will take part on Saturday in Paris in a meeting of the leftist European leaders. Cultural events staged simultaneously in Romania, the Republic of Moldova and the Romanian communities in the diaspora will mark as of Saturday the Romanian Language Day, celebrated on August 31st. Romanian President Băsescu announced on Friday he would call on the European partners to support the Ukrainian army with military equipment. He motivated his decision by saying that for the past week, Russia had been supplying the rebels with military technique and experts. Băsescu also said that on Saturday at the European Council in Brussels, he would ask for fresh sanctions to be imposed on Russia. Ukraine intends to relaunch the NATO accession process in order to face the Russian aggression, said Friday the Ukrainian Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk. Against the backdrop of the rapid worsening of the situation in the east of Ukraine, the ambassadors of the 28 NATO members gathered in an emergency meeting in Brussels on Friday to discuss the Russian military presence in Ukraine. The situation in Ukraine is also on the agenda of talks of the EU foreign ministers who met Friday in Milan. Also on Friday, the Russian President Vladimir Putin called on the pro-Russian separatists in the east of Ukraine to open a humanitarian corridor for the encircled Ukrainian soldiers. According to Kiev, Putin's request shows that the separatists are under Russia's direct control. On Thursday evening, Moscow was accused by the West in the UN Security Council of direct involvement alongside the separatists in the armed conflict in eastern Ukraine. The UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said the movement of fighting from the east of Ukraine to the south was a dangerous escalation of the conflict and urged Kiev and Moscow to negotiate a solution to the conflict. The Romanian Defense Minister Mircea Dușa continues his official visit to France. On Friday, he visited the EU Command and Control Facility in Mont-Valérien near Paris. On Thursday, Mircea Dușa conveyed to his French counterpart, Jean-Yves Le Drian, Romania's appreciation for France's efforts in the context of the security crisis on the eastern flank of NATO. High on the agenda of talks were also the NATO summit to be held next week in Wales and other important issues on the EU agenda, among which the European integration efforts of the Republic of Moldova, Ukraine and Georgia. The Romanian Foreign Minister Petru Scorlățean is taking part on Friday and Saturday in an informal meeting of the EU Foreign Ministers held in Milan, Italy. Approached at the meeting will be, among other things, the recent developments in Ukraine. On Saturday, the Social Democratic Prime Minister of Romania, Victor Ponta, will take part in a meeting of the leftist European leaders staged in Paris at the initiative of the French President François Hollande. The meeting is aimed at coordinating the positions of the leftist government in the process of nominating the European institutions' leadership. The UN officials said that the current crisis in Syria is the most serious of our times, requiring emergency humanitarian aid that the world states are unable to provide. According to the UN Refugee Agency, more than 3 million Syrian refugees have fled their country because of the war, most of them taking refuge in the neighboring countries. Over 1 million Syrian refugees have gone to Lebanon. The violence has led to domestic migration of 6.5 million Syrian nationals, which means that almost half of Syria's population had to leave their homes, the UN Refugee Agency reports. Since the start of the conflict in March 2011, over 119,000 people have been killed. Cultural events staged simultaneously in Romania, the Republic of Moldova, and the Romanian communities in the diaspora will mark as of Saturday the Romanian Language Day, celebrated on August 31st. Bucharest will host on this occasion book launches and concerts, while in Chișinău will be held an international conference dubbed the Romanian language a European integration language. In Chernout, in western Ukraine, a country that is home to almost 500,000 Romanian ethnics, the 25th anniversary of the Society for the Romanian Culture is celebrated. Romanian Cultural Institute offices all over the world will also mark the Romanian Language Day this weekend. Set up last year by the Parliament in Bucharest, this day is also celebrated in the Republic of Moldova with the majority Romanian-speaking population. On August 31st, 1989, with the communists still in power, the parliament in Chișinău was picketed by about 750,000 people and had to declare Romanian as the country's official language and switch to the Latin alphabet. Romania's football champion Steaua Bucharest will play against Dinamo Kiev of Ukraine, Rio Ave of Portugal, and Aalborg of Denmark in Group J of Europa League following Friday's group stage draw in Monaco. This is the second European competition for Steaua after being eliminated on Wednesday by the Bulgarian side Ludogorets Razgrad in the Champions League's playoffs. Holder of Romania's Football Cup, Astra Giurgiu, which managed to qualify in the Europa League groups, although it was defeated Thursday on home turf 0-1 by the French side. Olympique Lyon in the second round of the competition's playoffs will play in the Europa League's Group D against Red Bull Salzburg of Austria, Celtic Glasgow of Scotland, and Dinamo Zagreb of Croatia. And that was the news coming to you from Bucharest, Radio Romania International.